All right, let me just go over this Chapter 9 homework, that's due this week. When is this due? I think it's due by the 18th. I believe that is your Saturday night, Sunday night. Check your calendars. But again, just follow along with this, and you should be able to do it no problem. You want to spend your time looking at the midterm, studying for the midterm. So, Chapter 9, I got the textbook right here. What is Chapter 9 all about? It is about your information, external benefits, and external costs. And again, looking at external costs is one of the big things. And again, pollution is an external cost. Right? If a company wants to pollute in a river, send their chemicals down and away from them, they don't really care what happens because basically the pollution goes down the river, which happened in the Hudson River up until the 1970s when laws were passed to stop pollution in the Hudson. Because it was an external cost for businesses. It was a cost for society in the loss of that clean water and the health risks that go along with pollutions. But the companies, it wasn't a direct cost to them. They loved polluting the Hudson. It made life simple. A lot of manufacturing has left the Hudson because they can't pollute there anymore. It used to be a big crayon making factory up on the river. Not anymore. It's in China now. But anyway, let's look at this Chapter 9 homework. And first one's talking about moral hazard. And again, moral hazard basically is where government will protect you, so you'll be more risky generally. This is what happened in the 2008 banking crisis. The government basically let a large investment bank go under, Lehman Brothers. They let it basically go into bankruptcy because they worried about moral hazard. Because if they came in and rescued Lehman Brothers, then all other investment banks would do risky stuff because they know the federal government would back them up. So this moral hazard argument was raised why the federal government should not save Lehman Brothers. And the president of Lehman Brothers, nobody liked him anyway, Dick Fuld. But anyway, for insurance, if you get private insurance, it just does encourage sometimes risk-taking. I don't think that much, but because basically you can be wild and crazy and not worry about getting hurt because the insurance company will pay you off. But again, for our take, it's more for should the government bail out large industries? Are they too big to fail? Or are we just invoking moral hazard that these companies will just be more risky in the future? But anyway, let me check my answer. Yeah, that's perfect. Number 2, what's this one? External benefit. External cost is the one I'm more interested in, but there is external benefit too, where basically, which one? It benefits someone other than the person buying the good. The book goes on about dam building, but think about this as a flu shot, right? If you have to pay to get a flu shot, it benefits you, but it benefits a lot of other people because you won't get the flu theoretically, and then you won't infect other people. So they get the benefit too. But anyway, I'm going to check my answer and make sure it's correct. Yeah, I'm never wrong. Number 3, the social cost of production. Again, it's looking at external costs. What are the 2 costs? It's basically the private cost, right? Because again, what's the social cost of production? It's the private cost of the business to produce things, plus the external cost for the rest of us for that. And again, normally external cost is one of the pollution is one of the easy to understand external costs, though there are more. Let me check my answer. Yeah, nice work. Loving it. Number 4, a carbon tax. So again, here's the big question nowadays. Should we tax this pollution? Because global warming could be a big problem. And again, a good research paper topic is global warming. And again, you better use the phrase external cost when it comes down to global warming. So a carbon tax will shift the supply curve for home heating oil. If there's a tax on something, basically it's going to be bad for it. So it's going to shift it to the left, I say, but left and up is the same thing. Let me check this. Yeah, great. And it explains a little bit more to you if you want to read these things. By causing the equilibrium price, and again, if shift supply goes to the left, of course, that's going to increase the price. Look at supply and demand. Well done. I love the positive feedback. And the equilibrium quantity will also decrease. Because price goes up, people are going to be turning down their thermostats and not using as much home heating oil. Fairly, I think, straightforward stuff. Excellent work. All right, number 5. According to the marginal principle, again, if I add an extra unit to something, what's going to happen? So it's logical to, what is it? What are you doing? Looking at increase in activity as long as the marginal benefit exceeds the marginal cost, right? So this is the first one's correct, right? Because if we're going to increase the level of activity as long as the marginal benefit is more than the marginal cost. So if the benefit is more, just keep doing more and more of it until the marginal benefit equals the marginal cost. And again, these may be switched around when you do it, so just read them, think about it. Yeah, I'm really good at this stuff. The FDIC. Again, this is another moral hazard, right? Because basically the federal government is, through the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, will pay if a bank goes under, right? If a bank is going to go bankrupt, doesn't have enough money to pay off its depositors, the FDIC will pay off the depositors up to a certain amount. But generally they pay off everything because they want to bring stability to the banking system. So this encourages, not borrowers, but savers. The FDIC pays people that save money in case their bank goes out. So it encourages savers, to seek out the highest interest rates regardless of the bank's risk. Who cares if a bank is risky or not risky? It has one of the highest rate of return because I know if the bank goes under, they have to pay out. There's my telephone, probably a kid. I'm going to ignore it. Which one? Yeah, A, right? Check answer. Yeah, great job. One more. From a society's perspective, which is the following, is not a benefit of reducing pollution, right? Yeah, increase enjoyment in the natural environment. I do love go sailing on that Hudson, where it used to be a big smelly mess. Now it's a lot better. Better health. Again, I go swimming there. A lot less of toxic chemicals getting into me. Lowering cost of factories. It increased cost to factories. Again, this is why there is no Crayola crayon factory anymore on the Hudson River. So it does cost jobs. That's one of the marginal social costs to basically putting in laws to reduce pollution. It does cost jobs. We all know it does. But is it better in the long run to have a clean environment? It's up for debate. I think it is. All right, so take a look at this chapter 9. And again, look at the moral hazard. I'm going to ask a question on that one. Because, again, 2008, there was an interesting time. And should the government worry about moral hazard by backing up these banks that are too big to fail? And look at externalities. Again, if you're looking at pollution, looking at global warming for your research paper, you have to talk about the externality problem of carbon dioxide emissions. So email me if you have any questions. Again, we'll do the review session tomorrow, Thursday, 2 o'clock. If you're not there, I will record it. Hopefully, I'll remember to record it.